Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Road to Grandmaster series. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you one of the best chess tournaments that I have played in a long time, with victories over multiple extremely strong Grandmasters. I'll also give you a little update right now. I'll be playing 2 over-the-board classical chess tournaments in the month of December. We are back on the horse. We are ready to go. And as you're going to see in today's video, we are playing quite well. So I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate all of your patience. Before I show you the games today, a couple of videos ago, I showed you this Sacrifice the Rook hoodie. And you will be pleased to know that there are now t-shirts and much more. And we've opened the GothamChess merch store in the United States and Canada. It previously was only available in Europe. So I'll put a link in the description. 3 things. First, between now and November 30th, you get 10% off. Use the code. You'll see it there. It's Rook10. Number 2, if you get something in the next week or 2, you will be entered into a giveaway for this signed board from my tour earlier this year. It's been signed by myself, Anna Kramling, Judith Polgar, Julian Xiong, Rasmus Svane, like everybody who was a guest on tour. It's there. You can see it. So that's another little fun thing. And last but not least, and this is just something that I'm doing. This is not part of like any of the merch drop. Obviously, creator merch tends to be a little bit on the pricier side. A lot of people have their hands in and they all get a little bit of a cut. But I will guarantee that if you get some merch over the next couple of weeks, I will be making an extra contribution to the Daniel Naroditsky Memorial Fund through all of this. So the goal here is less about, my own benefit, and I'm trying to, do this for a good cause and also get you some Sacrifice the Rook merch. Without further ado, all right, that was my little announcement. I appreciate your patience, and here we go. So in this video, I'm going to show you 4 games that I played against elite chess grandmasters. 3 are wins, and the last one is a loss, but I am extremely proud of this loss. All right. First opponent, this is a tournament on chess.com now on Thursdays. My first opponent was Jeffery Xiong. If you don't know who Jeffery Xiong is, 2,700 player, just played in the World Cup. I have lost every game we have ever played against each other on chess.com, and we have never played over the board, so I've lost every game that we have ever played against each other. He opened up e4, I played d5. Side note, after I showed this game to you, if you are still not convinced that you should play the Scandinavian, if I'm using it to be 3,200 rated opposition, I don't really know what to tell you. So Jeffery accepted the Scandinavian, and he played knight c3, and I played queen a5, and I'm also going to bring back board sounds because they randomly just change video to video. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. He played d4, I developed my knight, he put pressure on my queen. There's actually no useful discovered attack here, so I attacked his queen with my light squared bishop. This was all covered in my Scandinavian defense course. He went here, I slid the queen back because now there was a small threat, knight e2, and he played like this, king h1 and bishop e3. Now here, because it's a 3-minute game, he put his bishop here, he targeted my queen. I was like, I'm gonna move my queen out of the way. I spent 0.9 seconds on that move. That was idiotic because he didn't have a threat. His bishop was not protected by anything. I should have just castled my king, and then if he played queen d2, I shouldn't have moved my queen. I should have just justified its position and pushed the pawn. During the game, I realized this was an inaccurate move. What I didn't realize was just how dangerous my position was going to get, because now Jeffery just very quickly generates a little bit of play against my queen. If I move my queen to this side of the board or here, kind of in a shocking turn of events, my queen is probably going to get trapped by the bishop, the other bishop, and the knight. So when I realized that, I was like, he went queen d2, and now it's time to deal with the move d5. So I dealt with it by going here. And then he moved his bishop, and I had to push my knight into the middle. So I was definitely worse from the opening. I mean, I thought this was just yet another game against Jeffery that's going to go in the direction that most of our games go. He traded, and immediately after this and this, I was like, okay, I'm much worse. I don't know if I'm losing yet, but I'm definitely much worse. And I figured he's going to put his rooks and so on. I thought at the minimum, he's going to take my bishop, he's going to have the bishop pair, and he's going to prepare the move c4 to justify this diagonal. So I thought rook c1 was natural, or knight e6, or queen d3. What's actually funny is the move c4 just basically wins on the spot. Because if I take it, he then pushes this pawn forward, and in the complications, he's completely winning. neither one of us thought that the move c4 was possible. I mean, obviously, it looks like I'm shutting it down quite effectively. He ended up going here, and that gave me just enough time to play b5, and so now I'm desperately hanging on to the position. What's insane about the position is c4 is still the only move for the advantage, which is, at this point, unfathomable because I'm defending it with 2 pawns. So he went here, knight d7, and then he played c3, and I just was like, I just can't get this. I'm getting the sense Jeffery is playing this too slowly. And quite literally, he's down 30 seconds on the clock. And once I noticed that the time was I was like, I gotta play fast. I can't let him get back into the game on time. So I went knight b6, he took, and I was like, wait a minute. I used to have to take with the pawn. Like, because the thing is, if I took with the queen, you know, in this position, I would just be under the attack of the rook. But after making a few consolidating moves, I was like, Jeffery, do your worst. I am unafraid of you, and I have a time advantage. He went bishop g5, I took it and went here, and during the game I was thinking, hey, it's been 23 moves, and the Scandinavian defense has given me a completely reasonable position against one of the strongest grandmasters, right? He goes queen e7, I could have taken it, I mean, I just brought my rook, there was no need to allow his rook in. He went king g1, which is, I mean, king g1 is just the general, you know, I don't know what I'm doing move, and I went g6. Which is also just kind of like a general, you're never going to checkmate me, my king has a little bit of breathing room, make your best move. He goes here. At this point, I start panicking, obviously. I have a good position against a 3160 rated player. It is now time to start absolutely pooping in my pants. So I went rook d7, I attacked his queen. He traded, and he doubled up the position. The position's completely equal because he can't do anything. He can't do anything. But when you are playing such a strong player, you start seeing ghosts. And I'm like, if I go rook c6, he's just going to defend his pawn, right? So I went king g7. He went rook e3. And now he's like, okay, well, Gotham is giving me a free roll, so I'm just going to push my pawns. h4, g4. He still has nothing. There is nothing in this position. But now I panic. Now I'm like, uh-oh, I got to do something. No, I actually literally can just move my rook back and forth on the last rank. White cannot break into my position. But I go here, and this trade now trades his bad bishop for my knight, which had some good prospects. And now Jeffrey's going to start marching me down, and that's exactly what he's doing. I play rook d5, but I still have a very slight advantage on time. So I was thinking, like, maybe practically I'm making it difficult for him. So takes. He plays rook e5. I'm like, okay, I think he's going to go for my pawns. It is only natural. So let's go here. And when he goes here, boop. And let's give Jeffery Xiong something a little unpleasant to think about. He's always going to defend himself. Oh, I'm going to go this way. Hi, Jeffery. I'm not going anywhere. He goes here. I infiltrate along the first rank. I don't go back. So now he can take my pawn, but I am guaranteed to win both of these pawns. And that's exactly what happens. He takes. I go here. He just makes a run for it. Takes, here, and suddenly I'm winning. So my idea of getting counterplay with my rook, winning his pawns, and stopping his passed pawn wins me the game. He goes king f4, and what's crazy, if I just like walk my king over, I'm winning. But in this position, I should have paused because I have a 30-second time advantage. I was so focused on putting pressure on him from the clock standpoint that I just decided to go for it with my pawn. That was wrong. I should have brought my king. And once I bring my king, I just win his pawn and I win the game. But I was like, no, we're going to go here. And then we got into a pawn race. And now I'm like, I just have to beat Jeffery on the clock, like at a minimum. And so I went rook d6, rook c6, rook c4. We traded pawns. And I had a feeling once I pushed my pawn far enough, he was going to blunder. And that's what happened. That's what happened. After the move b2, he shouldn't go king c2, but he went king c2. And this is just a winning rook endgame. Look at this instructive move, rook c5. Cutting off the king from 6 different files, right? He has B and A. And now I just push I can just push, right? So he goes here, I went f5, and rook c8, and king h6, and here I could have just went g5. I mean, he can't get close to me, right? Like, I can literally just trade, but I was just like, wow, I gotta win the pawn, I gotta win the pawn, I gotta win the pawn, I gotta win the... And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm not winning the pawn. And then I was like, it doesn't really matter. He has 9 seconds, and he ended up losing the game on time. So I managed to win. I had a totally winning position. I could have won it a few different ways, and despite being really, really nervous, I managed to win. I beat Jeffery Xiong for the first time, 31-60. I think when we played, he was actually 31-70. And I beat him with the Scandinavian defense. I mean, listen, if this is not a blessing, and you haven't learned an opening yet for black, go to Chessly. Really, at least try the free trial. I know I promoted the hoodie in the beginning of the video. That's, you know, that's part of a whole bigger thing. But if you want a free trial, check out the Scandinavian. It is, oh my goodness, it is my favorite. Now, I played other GMs in this tournament, and I played some very good games, some that I didn't win, but I was very proud of this game because actually my record against Rustamov plays Blitz all the time. I mean, he's playing Hikaru all the time. He's always playing in these tournaments. I think I had like 1 win in 10 games against Rustamov. It's not an exaggeration. So in this game, I went Bishop G5, and I played what's called the pseudo Trumpowski, because this is not the actual Trumpowski. It's a sort of Trumpowski. He went H6 and C6, and then I developed my knight, and the whole idea is that you want to play F3 and E4, and that is exactly what I did. I went F3 and E4, and he went back, and I went back. Very weird setup, but I kind of like it. I like the flexibility of the pawn play, and what you shouldn't do in a position like this is play C5. This is too aggressive. I mean, generally, black should play a little bit differently. He went C5, and I was like, hey, so I think I should take this pawn. And the point is that now our bishops see each other, which is going to help me develop. So he went here. That just helps me bring my queen into the game. And when he took back on D5, I realized something pretty funny. I have a check, and this is just a fork. I fork his king and this. And the best move here for black is to just suffer somehow. Rustamov, Alex, he played king D7. I was like, this is one of the most disrespectful moves anybody has ever played against me. This dude is just straight up calling me an idiot by playing this move. Like, he's like, yo, I can move my king into the middle, and I can lose a pawn, and you're still not going to be able to beat me. And I was like, okay, so now I just have an extra pawn. I need to bring my pieces into the game. I need to consolidate the pawn. I need to win. So I went knight E2. He developed. I overprotected my pawn. Defended also by my rook, so my position is very solid. He attacked me on that side of the board. Now here I probably should just go B5, knight A4. I chose knight A4 first, but I mean B5, frankly B5 and even sacrificing my pawn like on C6 would be devastating. Like even this is completely winning probably because after takes, knight C6, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like I should have something, but don't rush, right? So I went knight A4, he went rook E8, and I just traded queens with him, and I took his pawn. Why did I take his pawn? Because now his knight is going to have to take. B7 is going to have to stay protected. I immediately go to attack the knight, and he has to defend himself. And I was just thinking like, okay, so this is defended by that. This is defended by that. He's going to want to get these 2 pieces in the game. So what if I just castle and, like, how is he going to defend his pawns? So I just didn't understand, like, how's he going to defend his position? Now, what's funny is that I am, like, totally winning, right? So I gave him a check. I really wanted him to come here so he could get mated somehow with knight d4. But I also realized that if he ever tries to run that way, I'm going to keep his king in the center of the board. And so I played rook d1 and was like, I just exhaled. I mean, I just thought I was going to win the game right here. I was really, really proud of how I was playing this position. This all happened because, you know, in the opening, he already made his setup, and then he repeated a move with a piece. This is why you are taught as a beginner, like, you kind of want to avoid moving pieces multiple times in the opening, especially if those moves will result in the opening of the position. For example, if he went bishop g6, the position wouldn't open, so it would be a little bit different. But this move causes a massive opening of the position, which weakened him, and some moves later, I was totally winning. Now, I went knight c3, knight c6, and now I should obviously take the pawn. Okay, I took with that knight, didn't particularly matter. He went here, and I just prevented his king from running away. Maybe it was better to go knight b6 first, but I played bishop g3. I really wanted his king in the middle of the board, but he came up with this very nice idea, and this was very frustrating. Like, because we have the same amount of time. I'm much better, but I'm worried that I'm going to get into time trouble. And here I just decided I'm going to keep it insanely simple. I'm going to go rook b1. He's going to have to defend himself. I'm going to trade with him. I'm going to put my next knight in the middle, and I'm just going to come back. Now, what's insane about the move knight b4 is that it's straight up a blunder. Had he found this move, I would have lost my mind. I mean, it would have been an unbelievable throw. But here I should have kept the tension. I mean, he can't really move any piece. He can't move his bishop. He's struggling to move the knight. Like, maybe I can play c3 here to at least prevent knight d4. Yeah, I mean, I was just like, keep it simple, trade the knights. Knight d4 would have trapped my rook. That would have been brutal. 29 moves. You know, these guys are resilient. This is why they don't lose games. But he was feeling the pressure. And what ultimately ended up happening is we just got in. I mean, we just got in. The attack broke through. And sometimes when you're under pressure for 20 moves, it's really difficult to spot the moment to break out. I won his bishop. And then I just kind of enjoyed myself. You know, I really enjoyed having a totally winning position. He kept pushing pawns. And, you know, in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm still going to find a way to lose this. But it just couldn't happen. I had an extra bishop. I ended up promoting my g-pawn. And I traded rooks with him. And this is the end of the game. Queen f3, bishop d8, queen a8, queen c8, queen d7. And he lost on time on the 78th move, but I obviously am a couple moves away from winning. You may be asking, why did I run my pieces to the other side of the board? I figured if he wasn't going to resign, I would let my pieces get a little bit more exercise. I was very proud of this game, I have to tell you. Like I said, I have a horrendous record versus this Grandmaster. And for me to win this game felt amazing. And then the next game felt even more amazing, really. I have played multiple Quesadas. Like, there are multiple Quesadas in the world. There's Yasser. I've played Yasser over the board. I've played Unieski online. So now there is Luis Ernesto Quesada, which is absurd. Like, they just keep coming. I don't know if it's cousins or brothers or what, but yeah, I played D4. I played my Trumpowski. My two favorite openings are probably Scandinavian and Trumpowski. They serve me the best. I do incredibly well with them. I'm very happy when I play them, and, you know, I just get very easy positions. I play E3, Queen B6. So this game was very sharp. My opponent played a line where he attacks my B2 pawn straight away, and I ignored it. And he called my bluff. He played pawn takes, Queen B2. And what I remembered about this is, of course, I can play like really solidly or like take on C5, but generally, if they're going to take on B2, you can play C4 straight away. And if they go here, you know, you can take with a pawn, you can take with a knight, you can even take this pawn. And the computer loves this position, even if black is up 2 pawns, because white has so much development. Like, look at the bishops, and the king is going to castle on the rooks. It's very difficult for black to make a move. So with all that in mind, in this position, I was like, I still think the best move is C4. And it was. The best move is, in fact, C4. My opponent thought for a while, went knight E4. And here I couldn't quite remember what the best move was. So I just played what I thought was natural, which is pawn takes D5. That's not the best move. The best move is rook B1, queen takes, and queen C1, threatening to trap the queen in the corner. That is the best line. That I did not remember. So now I will remember for next time. Instead, I just took here, he took, and then I sat here like a buffoon wondering, why is he not taking my pawn? Like, it's just a free pawn. I thought I actually blundered here. I did not understand why this was not a free pawn. So the computer after queen d4 thinks rook c1 is a strong move, attacking the bishop. I didn't quite understand what was the whole thing here. Like, I thought he could just develop. But after queen f3, maybe he's under some pressure. Knight e5, I have bishop b5 check. And if bishop d7, I have takes. And I guess he's just under a huge amount of pressure here, which he correctly evaluated. Like, he thought it was way too dangerous to take this. And he went g6, and I was like, what? So then I went here, just developed, and I just thought immediately I have a great position. What's funny is knight c4 traps the queen. So knight c4, check, king f1, rook b3 is a trapped queen. I mean, there were so many tactics in the position that, you know, obviously I was like, well, I mean, okay, I'm going to castle. And now knight c4 traps the queen again, but I did not see rook b3. I didn't see that after queen a2, somehow I was going to be trapping his queen. But knight c4 just wins the game on the spot, which is mind-blowing. Knight c4, queen c3, rook b3 is just straight up a queen trap. But I played my next move in 4 seconds. So I played bishop takes, and then I took this pawn. And I had to win this position. So I have an extra pawn against the Grandmaster, but my pawns are doubled. He's going to try to kick my rook out. I want to put some pressure over here. Let's just forget about the fact, conveniently, that I wasn't able to trap his queen like 2 different times because I suck. Let's just focus on the fact that we have an equal position against a 3,000 rated GM. Let's see how we're going to grind him down. So we play queen b3. He offers me a trade of rooks, and I reinforce my queen and my rook on the b file. He takes, I takes. This is defended. This is under pressure. The 7th rank is on notice, right? So he goes here. And here I was thinking, like, okay, obviously I want to make a combination of a few moves. My rook is hanging, so what do I do with my rook? I simply move it and attack the pawn on e7. That can't be a bad move. He defends it. Now I was thinking I would really love to land knight e4, so I'm going to go here. This is a move which prepares, you know, escaping off the back rank, but in the future also could prepare the move g4. I actually quite like this plan of g4, and I played it. Despite pushing pawns in front of my king, the light-squared bishop of black doesn't have a comfortable environment, and then I went rook e3, and the bishop had to run away, and I offered him a queen trade, just going for an endgame where I'm going to undouble my pawns, defend my pawn, and clearly in my position, in my view, have a better position. He went here, and we traded, and I was like, okay, I have a minute, he has a minute 10. How do I show my advantage here? How am I going to do it? Like, how am I going to push his pieces back? How am I going to get in with my knight? So the first thing I did is I played g5. I thought this move was very logical. And now he has a difficult decision. Does he go bishop d8 and completely lose control of the 8th rank of the board? Or does he go bishop g7? He went here, which I thought was the best move, but it's not, because what it allows is this. And now d6 is under fire. a3, a5 is under fire. He went here, and all of a sudden, black is just like almost immediately lost and down on time. He can't defend himself. He can't defend a5. He's struggling to defend d6. He's under severe pressure. He goes bishop c8. I took on a5. He took on h3. And I just went for the d6 pawn. He can't easily get to me here. He goes bishop g4. And I simply defended my knight. I mean, I improved my king off the back rank using the space that I created a few moves earlier. And now we have a 10-second time advantage, which this deep into the game is just over. So I took on d6. Knight takes apparently was a mistake. I should have taken with the rook. He has bishop e5 here, which, yeah, bishop e5 is tough. I only saw bishop c5, which is a fork. He went rook b8. I went knight c4. I'm just pushing my pawn. Pushing my pawn and maintaining a time advantage. Rook a4, I just pushed. He can't take. He doesn't have enough time. I went rook c8, rook c7, d7. And now I'm like, all right, I need to get my knight to c6. I can't go to a5. He's going to fork me. King e4. Now his bishop can move. But in comes knight e5, rook b7, knight c6 isn't coming. I'm going to take, I'm going to bring my king. And it took me some 40 moves. But I obtained a totally winning position. We both queened. I took his pawns. Queen g2 is next. Queen g3, rook h1. And that's mate. And that's how I beat a third grandmaster in this tournament. In games that were hard-fought, this was a very complicated Trompowsky. I had very good chances in the opening. Here, I really should have paused for a second. Because when I castled, in my mind, I was like, he can't castle because I'm going to go takes and takes. So when he castled, I went takes and takes. I didn't even think that the queen could get trapped. I just always thought the queen was getting out. But that's because normally you're trapping the queen like this. And yeah, I mean, I really should have paused there. It would have been a much shorter game and a much more impressive one, but that's how it goes sometimes. Now, I was so proud of this game. In this game, I played, you wouldn't know from his username, right? This is Aravindh Chithambaram. And if you don't know who that is the 6th highest rated player in India. If you know anything about chess, you know that is extremely impressive. Aravindh, now, when I played him, is not the same Aravindh as in June 2025. In June 2025, Aravindh was up to number 9 in the entire world. His FIDE rating was 2,749. Of all the players in the world, he was in the same top 10 as Magnus, Hikaru, Fabi, Prague, Erigaisi, Gukesh. Since then, he's lost some ratings, so he's had a bad second half of the year. But this was a former top 9 player in the world. I thought he was number 15. Now he's like 25 or 30. But yeah, we got paired. And, you know, when I see who I'm playing, I'm like, oh, okay, it's time to lose. I mean, I know that's a terrible mentality, but I'm like, I'm going to try my best and we'll see. And I'm going to try my best led me to 3 amazing victories. So I played my favorite opening, the Trompowsky. By the way, this is all on Chessly. Like Scandinavia, you're seeing the success of the Trompowsky. I'm using it to beat Grandmasters, Scandinavian. So he went here. I don't know too much about the b6 setup. This is just kind of a line that black plays to get white out of comfort zone. So takes. And then I set up some way that I did in a classical tournament. I played c4. I played this way earlier this year against Nicholas Mata, or maybe that was last year. I think it was in January, though. Knight c3, e3, knight h3, and this is the setup that I chose in that game, where he puts the bishops here, and I develop my knights like this to control d5. And from the opening, I thought Aravindh was doing some weird stuff. I mean, he was playing a little bit weird with his pawns. And instead of pushing there, I was like, hey, I'm not castled yet. Let's go. And then he let me go h5. And I just couldn't believe this was the right plan. And then he let me go h6. And I was like, there is no chance this is okay. I felt it tingling, all right? I felt it in my brain. I felt my brain tingling, my hands tingling, my knees, my feet, my anus, everything was tingling. I immediately was like, something's off about this. And then I put my knight on h5, and he went here. And in my brain, I was like, hey, so what if I just go here and then long castle and just have a fantastic position? And that's exactly what I did. And when he offered me this pawn, I thought, hey, so what if I take his knight, put his bishop there, take, leaving him with 3 horrible weaknesses? And that's exactly what I did. And I just have a much better position, much better. You know, because now it's going to be a game of just like fighting against these like the bishops are not good. They're not good at all. So I think I played king b1. Yes, this is almost always a good move. Like before you want to get into a battle, especially if you have a pin coming, just long castle, king b1. And I thought we're going to figure this out. And he went here, right? So now is the moment where I need to capitalize on the advantage. I need to choose the plan for the rest of the game. And this is generally where players who are 2,700 FIDE are going to outplay me because they're going to pick the plan, you know, more sharply. So I was like, okay, I see that I can go bishop b2 and bishop d3, right, to target the pawn. I also see that I can go queen b3 targeting that pawn, but I don't really know my progress after this. I also am looking at g4 because if I break through, I'm going to attack. If he goes g4, f4, of course, I'm going to trade and probably just push. So, hey, what if I go rook g1, play g4, and when I go rook g1, he will go g4 to stop me and force me into that plan. So I went rook g1. And as I sat there, I realized he can go f4. He doesn't have to go g4 now, but it's actually even crazier than that. Not only will he go f4, he won't even take my pawn back. So what we both thought about here was g4, f4. If I take, he will take this pawn, and suddenly the bishops are coming alive. Like somehow I'm not attacking anymore. So I had to very quickly change my plan, and I went queen b3, targeting this, only to realize, and Aravindh punched me straight in the stomach. He's like, take it, idiot. You can't take this because I sacked my rook. Isn't that what you're famous for? And then I lose a defender of the bishop. So bishop d5, my whole plan doesn't work. He hits me with g4 at the right moment, and then he hits me with f4. And now he has the momentum. Now what's insane is that f4 is not a good move, but only if I find queen d1, which is at least kind of findable, to come back and attack this pawn. But, you know, when he's pushing all his pawns at you, Hikaru would have found queen d1. Backwards retreating move, hitting the weakness. And the other move that gives white the advantage here is rook f1, which if you play, you should pee in a cup. All right, they should scan you for, you know, for something you're taking because rook f1 is insane. Instead, I went here, which I thought made much more sense as I get out of the way, right? He gave me a check. I moved my king to the corner. He took and took. And I could have taken his rook, but actually if I take his rook, he's going to take here and attack my rook. And I was like, no, that's bad. So rook e3. I attacked his queen, and he went here. And here I calculated rook takes f6. So I calculated rook takes bishop. So I sack my rook against Aravindh. Check this out. He takes, and I take on d5. Look at this. Look how nasty this combination is. The idea of knight takes d5 is that if he takes, right, if he takes, of course I take his rook. If he takes my queen, I take his with a check, then I take his rook. I thought I'm a genius. I sacked my rook, and then knight takes d5. Would you like to know why this position is... Oh, and by the way, there is no back rank checkmate here because I always have knight to b1. Which actually during the game I didn't see. I thought I hung mate. Then when he didn't play it, I had no idea that I was like, what is going on? So I took on d5. Now, I am losing here, but it is for an absolutely obscene reason. Now, he played a move with a similar idea. So his rook is hanging, his queen is hanging, right? Bro, in this position, in like 7-8 seconds, he played queen h4. Just like, he straight up gave me a full queen. Because he has back rank mate. And the worst thing is, if I take the rook, it's still back rank mate. So the only move in this position to claim this winning advantage is queen again to d1, defending my rook and re-enabling this threat. Now, if I had played queen d1, I don't know if I would have won this game, but the position looks pretty grim because if you go queen g5, I take, and then I take on g4. So like, oh, that's not even the move. Oh, I have to go here first. What? What? Okay, I mean, you see? So queen d1's the only move. Now, the winning move is to take the pawn. It's the same idea. It's the same idea, but the difference is that he wins a pawn, and if queen d1, he can sack his queen, take the knight, and I don't have a pawn on h6 anymore. When Aravindh played this move, I was like, oh, I'm cooked. Like, I'm really cooked. And I gave him this check, and this check loses. I did not see queen d1. I mean, when he played queen h4, I just couldn't believe. I was like, what? So I gave him a check, but I forgot that now the rook is not actually hanging anymore. And so after I go queen d1, my knight, that's the difference. My knight needed to stay on the rook, and it went to the king instead, and now he just wins. I just forgot that the sequence of moves matters, and now I'm just losing. And I lost. But I was hoping I could maybe flag him, but I decided, like, we're not even going to do that. Hey, man, this was crazy. Like, I was super proud of how I played this opening, and if I played with just a little bit more precision, you know, maybe I could have won this game. In fact, I was there. Like, if I just took a deep breath after queen h4 and didn't assume the worst, I would have found queen d1, and after queen d1, the road is perilous for black. Black probably has to play something like rook to h3, and who knows what's going to happen. In the end, I ended up with 6 points. The only games I lost were 2 GMs, and very proud of how I played. And hopefully, you know, some of my training, puzzle solving, reviewing new openings will come in handy. I will be playing in December. I will be announcing a little bit more details soon. I might go about it like Hikaru, though, you know, might not register anywhere. Just show up at the last minute, and then I'll let you all know about it. So that's all, you know, that's all I've got for you today. If you want to check out the merch, I know creator merch can be a little bit on the pricey side. I've tried to fight for good prices, and regardless, you will get a hoodie, and I will make sure that a second contribution will be made to the Daniel Naroditsky Memorial Fund. So, yeah, that's all. You know the drill. Get out of here.